She even took what I call my sober virginity, where I made love to a sober girl for the first time. Ha! She convinced me that it would be okay if we hooked up. You know, I don't feel the need to rush certain things like commitment. 2 years, 2 years, 2 years, 2 years. Rather than going like, oh, well, I could have just said no! So hello everyone, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. I'm Jessica Layla, and what do you know it, today is Valentine's Day. When I checked my schedule and I realized that my uploading schedule falls exactly on Valentine's Day, I knew I had to make a video specifically for today. It's the season of love and relationships. What if I told you that relationships aren't all that they're chalked up to be? I've actually done a couple of these videos before, but I decided to make it a little more thematic, although this looks a little more creepy than I intended on it. So today, we're gonna be checking out some Reddit posts about relationships. I wasn't really feeling the wholesome stories today, and I kinda wanna give everyone today just a fresh perspective on how relationships are not always that good. Also, my main go-to for these crazy stories is this Instagram page called Toxic Reddit. They're a page that curates some of the most toxic posts from across various subreddits, so if you're into that, you should go check them out. They'll be linked down below. And I use them for a lot of my videos because they make things easier. I have a hard time finding the good post. I hope you're doing well. Here, do it with me. You won't feel so alone if you do this with me. See? Oh, you want to do it like this? Okay. Here, match your hand to the screen. Just settle in, sit back, and let's dive right in with the first post. I, 26 male, messed up with the perfect girl, 23 female. How can I show her that I'm serious about her? I'm not trying to make excuses, but I was tricked by her older sister, 27 female. She convinced me that it would be okay if we hooked up. I'm already over it. I feel like every single one of these videos I make, someone's cheating on someone. Everybody calm down. Let's just hear them out, okay? I just stabbed myself in the forehead. That's cool. I know it sounds dumb, but technically we aren't official. My girl has been waiting for me to make it official, but I've been too busy for a relationship, but I think it's about that time for us to become official. But right now, she's not talking to me. I really like everything about her. She has a good job, she's thoughtful, and can throw down in the kitchen. Yes, the most important things of life. She makes money, she's thoughtful, and she's a good cook. We've been seeing each other casually for 9 months, and I planned on making it serious when I have the time. I started getting to know her sister, and her sister and I eventually had a conversation about hooking up. I was totally opposed to it, but she tricked me into believing that it's fine if we do. I'm just ready to get serious with this girl, but she blocked me, and I want her to know that I initially said no, but her sister tricked me into pretending it was okay. And then there's some follow-up comments made by Op. I really should have handled this differently. My logic was she knows her sister well, and wouldn't say her sister would be okay with something she was. I should have checked with her though, you were right. Genuinely, in what world would it be okay? How did that not raise any red flags with you? I was skeptical, but they had a good relationship. I didn't think she would lie like that. No matter how you look at this, Mr. Man, Mr. Bro, Mr. Guy could have said no at any point. I don't know what it is with people, and they believe that they don't have free will and a say in these situations, but you know, he's completely blaming the sister, which yes, it takes two to tango, but to put it all onto this girl's sister, which she's also an icky individual, really makes you realize that there's no accountability or remorse on this man's end. So he's too old to be putting everything on the sister, rather than going oh, well, I could have just said no! Literally at any point, this man could have just said no, walked away, told the girl. It sounds like he's just making excuses. And yeah, just everyone in the story except for the girl sucks. The sister sucks, this guy sucks, everybody sucks. I hate these people. I've said my piece and counted to 10. Holy God, amen. What? Off to a very strong start right now. So yeah, let's just continue on. Fiancé, male 37, gave me, female 34, an ultimatum to get married. I still want to marry him, but he won't give up on it. Please help. I met Mark, fiancé, 3 years ago. It was one of the hardest times of my life, but he made it better for me, and I was in love. This doesn't end well, does it?
Nope.
We got engaged 5 months ago and were wedding planning until the ultimatum. Before I met him, I was married to Jared, male 34. We were together since college, and naturally we got married and wanted to settle down. A year into our marriage, I got pregnant and eventually gave birth to a little girl named Lana. Lana Del Rey! I was so overjoyed, as was Jared, and it felt like our family was complete. However, as Lana began to grow, I noticed her becoming more attached to Jared than she was me. She would cry nonstop if I was trying to hold her, but the moment he held her, she'd stop. Her first word was Dada, and everything seemed to be for her dad and not me. I'll admit, I got a little jealous and was hoping she'd come around to me eventually, but she never did. After 3 years of feeling like I meant nothing for her, I no longer wanted to be around her as it was painful and I was resenting her. I served Jared divorce papers and signed away my custody to him, agreeing to pay child support since I no longer wanted to even see Lana. I decided to start over, and that's when I met Mark. He never knew the full story because he knew I was uncomfortable with talking about it, but he knew I used to be married. Very healthy, by the way. Don't tell your partners anything about your previous life, and you will have the most successful relationship ever. He knew nothing about the kid and thought my payments were alimony to Jared. However, he somehow found out, either through one of my friends or Jared contacting him. So far, nobody has fessed up, and Mark won't say, and it's been rough. Mark said that he wants me to try reconciliation with Lana and is upset I abandoned her. He doesn't understand the pain I went through realizing the baby I gave birth to didn't love me and thinks I can just solve this like it's a sitcom and everything can be happy in the end. Mark has given me the ultimatum that either I try reconnecting with Lana or he's calling off our engagement. He said he doesn't want to marry someone who will casually drop her kids over what he thinks is an inconvenience. I don't think Lana even remembers me, honestly, and it'll be too painful for me if I try to talk to her again because of all the memories before I walked out of her life. I really want to marry Mark, but I don't want anything to do with Lana. Is there anything I can do to convince him not to push the ultimatum anymore? Someone said this reeks of untreated postpartum depression, and she expects things to go differently with a possible new child. She needs therapy as soon as possible. Now, I think it's pretty crazy of a story. If I were Mark, I'd be gone, okay? I'd be so out of there. I don't know that she would have been any better of a mother had she stayed involved, but that's not really the topic at hand. Mark, if he wants kids, this is not the type of person you'd want to have kids with, right? Like, someone who completely gave up their kid, divorced their partner because the kid likes their partner more. Like, is that someone you could honestly see your future with? It's very screwed up to see a child that way. I feel like there's a lot more to the story, and I'm trying to be gentle here, okay? I feel like there's a lot more to the story. I also do wonder if the story is fake. I said this in my last Am I the A-hole video, that most of these stories are fake, so I'm kind of taking this with a grain of salt. I think it's very hard to just completely detach yourself from your husband and your child that way. I feel like there has to be more to the story, and I don't think that she would have been a good mother had she stayed. Now, I'm not saying that her absolving her rights or whatever is like, good for her. I'm saying, though, that maybe that's the only good thing in this story is that a potentially abusive parent was no longer involved in the life of the child, but I don't feel safe with someone like this having kids again. Those are just my thoughts on it. You're welcome to disagree or agree. I don't care, but I think these situations go a lot deeper than we realize, and a simple Reddit post is really not enough. Anyways, let's just move on to the next one. My 29 male girlfriend, female 28, is upset because I recently asked her to be my girlfriend. Advice? So I, male 29, met Lucy, female 28, after she approached me as a fan of my work. I'm a painter, and she talked to me during an exhibition about how much she connected with my art. I'm a very introverted and private person, so I don't talk to many people, nor do I feel the need to. But Lucy caught my attention. After a few months of talking almost every day, I found out we shared common interests like comics, music, and other things. Eventually, I invited her to my house, and we made out. From that point on, we kept dating, and now it's been almost 2 years. Going off the title of this, 2 years and okay, hold on. Let me put my horses back in the barn because maybe I'm jumping way ahead. Lately, she's been insisting on going on more dates, trips, and especially on me asking her to be my girlfriend. She used to ask me constantly, when are you going to ask the question? We even had arguments about it because I wanted to be special, but I just couldn't find the right way to do it. She met my family, I met hers, and I know she referred to me as her boyfriend. But on my side, I still call her Lucy because she is my partner and I hadn't formally considered her my girlfriend, although I do love her. I like to take things slow, 2 years, so I don't feel the need to rush certain things like commitment. 2 years, 2 years, 2 years, 2 years. There were struggles in our relationship because she's very clingy and energetic and I'm more calm. She would call me pet names, which made me uncomfortable, and she always had new ideas for me. She even helped me apply some of those ideas to my work, but at times it felt like she was pressuring me to do more or getting too involved in my projects. Like a month ago, I discovered that she had contacted some art galleries to inquire about exhibiting my work, which led to an argument. Sure, I had mentioned wanting to do that in the future, but I don't feel ready. That argument led to her having a meltdown. She told me that I always say I'll do things in the future, and that years have passed, yet I was still in the same spot. She said I never listened to her advice. This made me feel bad because I don't want to become something big, I just want to do what I love. And if people discover me, great, I'm not pursuing fame. But she had suggested I do social media or other things to promote myself, which I think is cringy. Do you think I'm cringe? After all, she brought up the fact that I still hadn't asked her to be my girlfriend. I told her I was waiting for the right moment because I wanted it to be special. My eyes are watering. I'm getting emotional! She got mad and said I always make promises that never become reality. She also said I don't listen to her advice. After that, she stopped answering my messages and went silent. 2 days ago, I went to her apartment. The night before, I had spent hours making a handmade gift for her. I didn't have all the materials I needed for it to be perfect, but I couldn't wait any longer because I don't want to lose her. I showed it to her and asked her to be my girlfriend, but she was disappointed. We had another argument and I couldn't understand her reasoning. She had always told me that it didn't need to be special, but now she was upset because I had hyped her up too much. I don't understand why she's upset. In the past, she said she didn't need it to be special. So now that I did something simple for her, she got angry with me. I don't know what to do, and since I don't want to ask my family for advice, I decided to post here. I made a new account because I post my art on Reddit as well, and I don't want to reveal my identity. My brother in Christ, you are a walking, talking red flag here. You spent 2 years, in your own words, dating this person, yet you refuse to simply acknowledge that you were boyfriend and girlfriend by simply asking someone you refer to as your partner, by the way, far more serious than boyfriend-girlfriend. Obviously, that level of commitment holds some significance to this other person who respected you and wanted to be with you enough to not give up after a year, plus of you stringing them along under the guise of I want it to be special. I'm sorry, but you're the a-hole. You can't spend 2 years talking to someone, calling them your partner, getting the boyfriend-girlfriend experience, but denying them their basic request of making it official under the guise of wanting it to be special when you ask, and then when they finally get tired of playing games, you all of a sudden understand how important it is and rush the special part of it. If it mattered so much to you that it was special, why did you give her a half-assed art project that was unfinished, in your own words, didn't have all the materials to be perfect, and expect her to be okay with that? What's next? In an update, you'll have gone 20 years being boyfriend-girlfriend, waiting for the most special moment to propose, and when she tries to leave you, you glue a bunch of cut-up matchsticks into the shape of a ring and glue a super obnoxiously fake diamond to the top and propose to her with that, because the way this reads, it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. Wow, that person just roasted this guy. So I just want to say that I get, like, the whole art perspective, you know? Not everyone wants to be famous. I do my art. I do my stuff. I'm a creative person myself. I just smacked the freak out of my cup. I'm a pretty creative individual myself. I understand not wanting to monetize or get your name out there. I get that. That's whatever. Should she have done that? Probably not. But that's not the story. How do I put this? So the way I see it is that he knew he was about to lose Miss Lucy. So he kind of, you know, puts everything together as quick as he can to make their boyfriend-girlfriend official statement or whatever special, but he's only doing it because they're arguing. Is kind of my takeaway. I don't know if that's right? He calls her his partner, which honestly does feel like more of a commitment than boyfriend and girlfriend. He does love her, but 2 years is not a rush. 2 years is very slow to not even say, yeah, you're my girlfriend, yeah, I'm your boyfriend. Like, I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense, but I feel like 2 years, not taking it slow. That's exceptionally slow. And then Slicky Ricky Rick said, I bet she thought he was going to propose, not ask her to be his girlfriend. I mean, 2 years of thinking you're dating someone, that's kind of what I was thinking too. He only did it because he felt pressured, and then it wasn't special because he just threw it together and rushed it. But I also think that she was just trying to help him, get his name out there. And this guy, someone in the comment section said this guy just commits to absolutely nothing. So I think he just has commitment issues all around, maybe. But that's my take on it. I don't know. Relationships are complicated. On to the next one. I, 25 male, am majorly losing attraction to my girlfriend, 22 female, since she finished college and started working. I met her almost 4 years ago at the beginning of her first year of college. She was your typical cute little college girl wearing yoga pants and all sorts of cute outfits and loved to party. I had always had a fantasy of being with a cute college girl. Ew! But had never had a chance to until I moved near a college campus and started matching with them on Tinder and Bumble. A couple months after I met her, she even took what I call my sober virginity, where I made love to a sober girl for the first time. That's horrifying. We moved in together after a year. Now, she has recently become a college graduate and started a new job last week. A few things have been bothering me. I hate the new clothes she wears to work. They remind me of my dad going off to his own office job. What kind of outfits were your dad wearing? With the pantsuit? When she was going off to school or to work as a waitress, she always looked adorable. But now she looks like some dorky old man every weekday morning. Whack! She also talks about work a lot, and it feels so strange. I'm beginning to dread asking her to tell me about her day, which I've always done, because she starts talking in so much detail about her job, and it's so boring. Her stories from waitressing in school were way more entertaining. She keeps talking about all the crazy things she wants to buy, namely a new car and a nice new house in the suburbs. That's totally insane! I told her there's no way I can afford to buy a house, and she said, we will be able to once I've paid off my student loans and saved up for a down payment. She talked about wanting to have a garden and all this other stuff, which just made her seem so old. Whack! She starts talking about savings and finances, which she never did when she was going to college with loans and money from waitressing. I just feel like I'm starting to miss my little fresh-faced college girl. Now she's starting to play grown-up more and more, and it just rubs me the wrong way. I honestly can't help but feel that the college girl to office lady is not a glow-up. Should I try and make things work and find a way to fall back in love with her? Some part of my is wondering if it can possibly work out long-term. Too long didn't read, I found her much cuter as a college girl than as an office lady. I am going to puke. I hope she realizes and runs far away. Could you please elaborate? What do you hope she realizes? You sound like a pedophile. You'll be that 40-year-old creep hanging around campuses. Hanging around campuses makes you a pedophile? And I guess huh? Huh? First of all, the sober virginity thing? Ew! So what he's saying is he dated someone way younger than him, and now Miss Girl is growing up and experiencing life and doing the adult things, and he doesn't like it because she's finally acting like an adult because he went after someone young. The beginning of her first year of college would have made her 18. So he is 25. Like, age gaps make me so uncomfortable because you know what they're doing and you know why they're doing it. And that is nasty. And he is the problem. She's getting older, she's becoming more of an adult. He met her when she was very young, and now she's becoming a full-fledged adult, and he doesn't like that, because he's attracted to younger women! Not even women! Girls! Ew. I can't focus on this anymore, it's gross. So, let's read one more crazy one to round out the night. I, 28 male, don't know how to tell my wife, 24 female, that I cheated on her while she had postpartum depression. I know I'm a POS, and I don't deserve my wife and our two beautiful sons, 4 and 2. I know that by telling her this will be the end of our marriage. She will not forgive me. There will be no talking through it. She will tell me to pack my bags and leave immediately. I can't live with the guilt of not telling her, but I can't live without her. I don't know what to do. Basically, my wife and I always wanted a traditional family. I would go to work and she would stay home with the kids. We always wanted a large family, a house in the suburbs, a dog, the whole thing. We got married when she was 19 and I was 23. She got pregnant right away and our first son was born 9 months to the day after our wedding. He was such an easy, happy baby. We were all so happy. My wife was super passionate about cooking, arts and crafts, and home decor. Our home was always spotless despite having a baby and a dog. We had a great marriage and a healthy life. We were both naive enough to think that being parents was always going to be easy. We started trying for another as soon as the doctor cleared us. It took about 8 months for her to get pregnant, which stressed her out a lot because she got pregnant so easily with the first. This pregnancy was different. She had no energy, she gained a lot of weight, and was unrecognizable. I don't like where this is going. With our first son, she only had a small bump, and you wouldn't even know she was pregnant if you saw her from behind or if she was wearing an oversized shirt. With this pregnancy, she blew up like a balloon. Her face and feet were swollen. I sound like an a-hole for saying this, but she looked like a monster. We didn't do it for the entire pregnancy. Sometimes she would try to initiate, but I always turned her down because I was repulsed by her. She had a difficult birth, and our son was born with some health issues, relatively minor thankfully, but enough to give us a scare. My wife blamed herself for our son's health issues. In the heat of the moment, I told her that if she had been more active during pregnancy, then our son probably would have been fine. She just kept sinking further and further into depression. Well, gee, I wonder why. She stopped brushing her hair and it started to mat. I would come home from work at 5 p.m. to find her older son still in his pajamas. The dirty dishes were piled a mile high in the sink. She stopped showering regularly, and she refused to go on a jog to lose the baby weight, even though I tried to encourage her by saying I'd cook dinner if she did. Our son's physical needs were being met, but emotionally, she was checking out. I started fantasizing about being single and not having a wife or kids. I started going to the gym and the bar after work instead of going home to them. I met Cassidy, 19 female, at the gym, and we really hit it off. She was vocal about never wanting kids, and when I would complain about my wife to her, she would pile on too. I was happy at the time because I wanted someone to validate me for being such an a-hole, but looking back, I'm disgusted. Pretty soon Cassidy and I were dating, and I was having a whole separate life behind my wife's back. After a few months, my wife slowly started to return to her old self. She started taking more pride in her appearance, and started cooking from scratch again instead of ordering takeout or frozen food. Our home was clean again, and our younger son's health issues were improving. I fell in love with her all over again. I started to realize that Cassidy wasn't as exciting and interesting as I thought she was. She was actually quite dull and stupid, and had no real opinions or interests outside of partying and TikTok. I started to suspect that she didn't actually like me either and was just flattered by the attention of a married man, and I stupidly enabled it by making her feel special and better than my wife. I ended things with her a few months later, and she didn't even seem to care. All in all, I was cheating on my wife for just over a year. My wife has recently started asking to try for a third baby, and the guilt has just hit me at once. I feel paralyzed. I have nightmares that she finds out from someone else. I've stopped eating and sleeping. I'm starting to get aches and pains from the stress. I don't know what to do. I know I'm an a-hole. I know I don't deserve her, but I don't know how to tell her without breaking her. She's amazing and she never deserved this. Do you understand that you were the primary cause of her postpartum depression? When she told you she felt that it was her fault your son had health issues, that was your cue to console her and tell her that there was no way for her to have prevented it. I can't even imagine the guilt spiral that comment must have sent her on, you selfish, inconsiderate piece of trash. Don't you dare knock her up again without telling her what you've done. She can't count on you, and you know it. And according to this comment, they got divorced, his mom and dad hate him, and potentially disowned him. Maybe I can find a follow-up? I don't know if that would still be up. This has been a while since this post, so give me a moment. Everybody chill. Everyone just take a deep breath. Papa will find it. just the way he's even looking back on her pregnancy and describing her like a monster, like, really? I truly believe, deep within my heart and my soul, if you love someone, their physical appearance isn't going to alter how you feel. And I know people are gonna get all about that, but if you really love someone and you really care about their well-being, and you know, especially with something like this, that it's only temporary, your love for them doesn't fade. And so, the fact that he starts a whole affair for a year, hides this from her, and now they want to have a third kid, which I hope they never did, because these poor children, it's just like, what are you doing, man? And this guy doesn't deserve any woman going forward. I think Cassidy is also a really nasty human being for doing that. I hate people who enjoy the thrill of getting with someone who's married. Like, that's always icked me out, but that's beside the point. This guy, one of the worst people that I've come across in these posts, and he doesn't love her. Okay? You cannot love someone and do something like that to them. I don't believe it. I don't think you can love someone and treat them that way. Truly. If you love someone, you would not put them in a position to hurt them in the worst way possible. And plus their age gap, I hate to say it, did concern me a little bit, not because it's huge, but because I feel like people don't understand that sometimes when we talk about age gaps, it's not about like, oh, the legality of it. It's about the mindset between those age groups. So 23 versus 19, when I think of myself at 19 versus 23, very different ages, very different person. So I didn't, like, from the get-go with the age, I was like, but I wanted to read the full post and get the full context. And now that I have, there are some people you absolutely detest by the end of the story. You know what? I don't think I can handle anymore for the night. So yeah, that was our video. That's where we're gonna cut it off. I've been recording for almost an hour. Yeah, and that last story just really made me feel some type of way. I hate these people. What do I say after that? So Valentine's Day, I know, was a rough time for some of us, you know? Last year, I actually made a reel on an account that no longer exists talking about how Valentine's Day can kind of remind us of the things we wish we had. If there's one thing I can say to you, it's that relationships are not easy. And you can see all these people who are happy together, but you're only seeing one small sliver of what a relationship is actually like. And you know what? I hope this Valentine's Day you're just surrounded by love. And if you're lonely, I'm here with you. And in fact, if you don't want to end your night here and you want to keep hanging out with me, I'm going to link down to my Reddit playlist, which includes both Am I the A-Hole and regular Reddit stories if you want to check those out. We could just hang out some more. You know, grab yourself some of those nasty chocolates that people seem to like. Get those weird chalky heart candies. Get yourself some Kool-Aid. And just settle in and hang out with me. So thank you all so much for watching. Happy Valentine's Day. I love you all. And hopefully I will see you all here next time.